remember now, we're not here to judge anybody. We want to handle this with love, right? You want to tell him how his drug abuse has hurt you, maybe hurt himself. Okay, Harold, what time did you tell him to be here?
5 o'clock, but he's always late.
No, he'll be here. In 3, 2, 1.
Is this a 5 o'clock free crack giveaway?
Hey, folks out there in the great lands of YouTube, everywhere you can watch a great video tonight. We are live tonight, the MCU'S Bleeding Edge. Going to be discussing Star Wars ANDOR EP 7 called The Announcement. And we're going to get into this little episode, which was a fairly long episode. It was like 44 minutes long. And had some really great music, I thought. I really enjoyed the music throughout this episode. It just was really superb. And, for a Star Wars show, this one's actually been pretty damn good. So I thought this episode wasn't too shabby of a episode. A lot going on in it. Lots of craziness going on in it. So it's going to be fun to talk about it, I feel. And, of course, we have an amazing panel again with us tonight. Of course, as always, I have my loyal co-host, Mr. Jeff S, TrueKnowledge, in the house. How we doing, Jeff?
Oh, you know how I'm doing, baby. I'm great. I'm fabulous, man. I'm living it up. I got my boy Jason Khan over here up in this bitch. My motherfucker, that's my boy right there, man. So hey, this is like my second happy birthday of the year, bro.
Great to be here with you, Jeff.
Yeah, my second birthday. Now, except I'm not turning 41 today though. I only 40. I don't want to turn 41 today.
He doesn't want to turn 41, people. Hear that?
No, I'm sorry. I love you, Jason, but I don't want that to happen. I'm sorry.
And of course, we have joining us tonight is as Mr. Jeff S has talked about, Mr. Jassim. Welcome, Jassim. How are we doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing well. How about you, Cyber?
I am good, sir. Glad to have you on the panel. I think this is actually the first time me and you have been on a live stream together, too, as well. So it's great to finally meet you and get to have you on the panel and talk tonight. So just wanted to throw that out there. And then, of course, we have returning from the That's Some Real Shit podcast, Miss Stacy. How we doing, Stacy?
Hi, I'm returning from the abyss of sickness.
Yes. Did you hear that, people? The abyss of sickness. Ooh, that just sounds very, very, very scary. But at the same time, we're glad you're back.
Cyber, she's doing whiteface too. That's why she doesn't want to be on video. She's doing whiteface tonight.
Oh, okay. Well,
she set a new trend.
Set new trend. Whiteface here. All right, people.
Caused by sickness.
Caused by sickness, people. White face caused by sickness. All right, people. So, great panel tonight. So, let's get right into this and have some fun here. So, of course, like I said, this episode is called The Announcement or Announcement. And this is the 7th episode. We know we are a little behind because the season finale premiered back in November 23rd. So we do realize we're behind, people, but, we don't care. We want to get this series done, and it's fun, and we've been enjoying it. So it's going to be fun to talk about it. So, of course, this episode starts off. We get our first thing of Karn in a while. Last time we saw him, he had just gone to his mother after he got fired. And I believe that was maybe 2-3 episodes prior. So I don't think we've seen him for, almost 2 episodes at least. And so it's fun actually seeing Karn pop back up. He is basically waking up at his mother's house, and he goes in and has breakfast with her, and they kind of have a conversation. And of course, she's, as this wonderful mother she is, basically everything he says or does, she's got something to say about it. And they kind of have this conversation where she's just kind of belittling him, I feel. And he just kind of is sitting there taking it as she's, he's apparently been dealing with her for many years. And they basically have this little conversation, and he's getting ready to go to his new job. So we go to his new job, which he has started at the Bureau of Standards. And this place, I am not very familiar with what this place is, but I'm assuming it's a part of the Empire, and he's still a part of the Empire in some kind of capacity versus, he's working for just a random company or something like that. But basically, we get to see him he's starting his first day there, and he's kind of being shown around a little bit, and we get kind of just of where he's getting this new job. So then, as it bounces away, we basically find out that because of this occurrence where this one base was robbed, basically everyone is on alert in the Empire now, and Colonel Yularen announces that the ISB has gained more surveillance and punitive authority. So we kind of have this big meeting here on Coruscant, basically explaining that, because of these incidences that happened on the other planet, that basically the Empire is now on alert, and that they're going to start all these punitive measures to basically keep this from happening, and basically crack down on everyone and make people's lives miserable, basically. And that's kind of the gist of what I got from what was going on in that sequence there. And basically, after that little scenario happens, they have their little meeting. That's when we go to Miro, and basically she goes and she talks to this other officer saying, I want you to do this specific thing for me and get this, find out all this stuff about the whole, basically the whole entire universe, all the recent purchases or, recent, acquirings of this type of material. And keep this between us and our secret type of deal. And so basically that's where she kind of leaves it at. And she's kind of doing her own thing on the side from the rest of, the people. Which basically, if you remember from previous episode, this is kind of, illegal in the Empire to try to access, Imperial data without authorization. So there's a little more sinisterness going on here than meets the eye, I feel. So we'll stop right there. Those are two really big sequences, I feel, right off the bat. And so I want to go around the panel and just ask, what were your thoughts on these two key sequences? Was there anything that caught your eye? Was there anything that you felt was very important about these sequences? And just what did you get out of them? And what was your overall impression of how this kind of episode started out? Starting with you, Stacy.
I always feel like she's grooming him as far as the mom when it comes down to excuse me, her mannerism, character, the way she treats her son. It's like she's grooming him as this ideal imperial person, and he's just kind of like, he's just got that look like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm back here again. I need to get out of this place. And that was kind of like how when he got to the when he finally got the job and he was sitting there and he was just like, this just isn't me. Like you could tell the look on his face, like, this is just not me. This is just so boring. I had like a really good job. And his mom, I couldn't imagine. I mean, it's the most painful thing to watch how she picks him apart and like just destroys her own son. I mean, I get it, but then also I don't, you know what I mean? Because it's too micromanaging. But you could tell that he's like, he's gonna be an important character. Like there's a reason why we're still following his story. So I'm interested to see where he's gonna go or how they're gonna pull him back into it. Like, will he end up being someone that is still in the Imperial, or will he end up becoming a traitor? Like, you never know what's gonna happen with that. So that's interesting to kind of look at. The meeting and the part with Deidre, I feel like it's something that's bound to happen. They're going to retaliate. They're going to make everybody's life miserable. They're going to filter out everyone that will know anything about the rebellion. I mean, you're messing with someone's paycheck. So, of course, they're going to like have sort of a comeback from all of that. So you just see them just kind of setting up that and how everybody's going to be affected. Like people don't think like, oh, it's just a small robbery. And I think that's the reason why when she said it's not a robbery, it's an announcement, because now they're announcing their presence and now we have to respond back to that announcement. So I feel like it's a setup, another setup for something big to come. Well, I mean, with all Star Wars, there's always something big to come, but just this is the quiet right now.
Very much so. Thank you. All right. Jassim, sir, your thoughts on those two opening sequences, please.
I don't really have much to say about Cyril's mom, other than I guess I never really understood her intentions for like helping her son a lot, even though her son seems ungrateful. But I guess after hearing Stacy's comments, I'm gaining a new perspective on that sequence. As for Dedra Miro, I think that she is going to, I don't know, she's like the type that thinks differently from everyone else. Like she doesn't play politics. She focuses on the practical results. And just seeing that stand out, I mean, she's a minority among the rest of the ISB. And I don't think she's going to last long, considering that, as we've seen in the past, like her previous colleagues have tried to sabotage her. Even her superiors seem doubtful of her. Yeah, that's all I have to say.
All right. Thank you. Sir Jeff, your thoughts, sir?
Well, besides just really quick, I'd just like to shout out Stacy from Some Real Shit Podcast. Stacy, it's good to see you again, my friend. We missed you. And Jassim, thank you very much, brother, for coming back on the Bleeding Edge, man. It's been forever, dude.
It has been forever.
Folks, if we don't talk about it much on the show, but Cyber are essentially kind of like Cyber's not from. I'm from Rizzle. That's where I started making content. Was on there on TikTok. I don't think Cyber did at all. Cyber started on YouTube, I think. Either way, bottom line, I know Jassim from like years ago with content creation and whatnot. Like Jassim used to make content freaking back like the day. So either way, Jasmine, don't worry. I'm not gonna be divulging anything too personal, but no, I know Jasmine from content creation and whatnot and everything, and he's a good friend of me and Cyber's. He's my little brother, and I love the guy to death, and he's good people. So just so y'all know, we got a good ass guy over here on the show tonight. But yeah, thanks very much, Stacy. And yeah, as far as what we're talking about here, the scene. Stacy and Jasmine pretty much covered it. I mean, there wasn't that much really all that profound to really point out. I don't really get the dynamic between Cyril and the mom. I'm not really sure what the fuck the point of it is, to be honest with you. Like what we're supposed to be getting out of it as an audience at all. I don't see how it connects or relates to anything happening on the show at all. Like, unless I'm missing something, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting there watching the Andor episodes and like trying to psychologically evaluate the fucking like relationships and dynamics at some high level or whatever and whatnot. I'm too busy smoking crack, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot, and like drinking, and everything and all that to like worry about that. But besides that, no, like, I mean, I just don't see, unless it's gonna pay off somewhere at the end. I'm not really sure. Like, it's not funny, right? It's not amusing, right? Like in other series we've seen where there's a mom, son deal where the mom fucks with the son and it's funny or whatever, or humorous. This is just like kind of, or like, it's not bizarre either. It's almost like they're like an old couple fucking haggling around the table, you know what I'm saying? Like bitching at each other and whatnot and everything. And him, like, I'm not sure what we're supposed to be getting from him, like on his end, because he just seems like a robot during the whole thing. He's like he has no expression. He doesn't like go up and down. He doesn't get excited. He doesn't fight back. If anything, he's like sarcastic and kind of like shoots jabs back at her. You know what I mean? And like fucks with her back. You know what I mean? Like they squabble, right? Like, so that's what I mean. Like, I'm not really sure. Again, I'm just trying to, I guess, maybe you guys can explain to me. I'm not grasping where the payoff is from this. essentially, like where this is leading. That's what I'm kind of wondering is, okay, what are we gonna if they're gonna feature this right in the beginning of every fucking episode now or whatever? This is the new shit, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier with Sam and Bucky or some shit all of a sudden. Then all right, like what is this gonna pay off to? Is there then gonna be like some kind of sexual encounter in the finale with them or something? Like, I mean, what's gonna happen here? I mean, basically, but whatever. I mean, I guess Cyril's basically obsessed with Cassian. Like, for some reason, he, like, I guess in a way, maybe, like, he almost is, like, blaming him for, like, all his failures or some shit or something like that. We still don't know what the deal is with Uncle, whatever his name is, right? That's supposed to be getting him a job or some shit. What's his name? What's the uncle's name? What's the uncle's name the mom keeps mentioning that that's going to help him out and whatnot and get him a job and shit?
I honestly, I don't remember it. Anybody else remember?
Maybe She-Hulk knows.
Okay, I know. Arlo.
Jasmine, what's up, bro? You just talked in robot, man. You were in robot mode.
Wait, what?
Yeah, dude. Yo, what did you hit a button or something, man?
Press anything.
You sound like a homosexual version of Darth Vader. Stacey, am I not right on that or what?
Okay.
What do you think, Stacey? Should he stay with that audio the whole show or what?
Type it into the private chat there, Jasmine, because your audio is just really weird right now.
Yo, wait till you see this. Wait till you go back on the video and you see yourself talking right now, bro. I swear to God. It sounds like you added an effect to your audio. Like you hit a button and you added an effect and changed it.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, yeah.
Yeah. Like seriously. So hey, good job though. I mean, it's very Star Wars connected, man. You sound like Darth Vader, kind of. You know, you just sound like the pussy version of Darth Vader. Like if Darth Vader was a male feminist, that'd be who you are with your robotic shit there.
Your sense of humor, Jeff, very unique.
There you go, Jasmine. He's back. You're back to be my little brother. You're masculine again. You're no longer pussy Darth Vader version of you.
I don't know what's with AirPods, man.
Hey, I don't know what to tell you, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. You know, it might be a conspiracy. Maybe it's George Soros. Who knows? You know.
But at least I told you the name of the uncle.
What was it?
What was the name? We didn't understand.
Arlo.
I'm sorry. It's kind of hard. I'm starting to understand when you're using your fucking your queer Darth Vader effect.
Cyber, what do we do with Jeff?
There's nothing really you can do with him.
What is it to do? It's already been done. I've already done all of it. It's been done to me, so it's already done.
So you're gonna keep saying it throughout the entire show?
What was no the She-Hulk stuff? I don't just kill it forever. I want to save it. I want to stretch it out. So, you know, feel me? So I'm not gonna inundate y'all with that shit. But nah, man. Listen. So you tell me though. I just want to ask really quick and whatnot, if you don't mind, Cyber. What do you guys think? Just real quick. What do you guys think about this dynamic with the mom and Cyril? What is this leading to? Cyber, what do you think?
Well, there's really nothing guaranteeing what it's going for, but I mean, usually in these instances, anytime a mother is overbearing of their child, always telling them what to do, they always are like a part of the agenda that's causing whatever is going wrong in society. So I feel that, she's a part of the empire to a certain extent that he doesn't realize. And she probably has a different agenda behind her because, they want her to have him do something or be a certain way or something for a particular thing for the empire. So that's what I'm leaning towards for her. I think that there's something more behind it. But at this instant, they're not really giving us much on it. So it's pretty much, up in the air for what it could be. It could be nothing.
I have a theory.
Go ahead, Stace. You come in after Jasmine.
Sorry, just real quick. I just think because if you look at the relationship between Cassian and his adopted mom, and then Cyril's relationship with his mom. I think maybe they're just showing that dynamic as these two characters. Like these might be two characters. This is how they're raised, and this is like, you know, maybe that's what they're trying to do. She's probably not really like a very significant part, but just just explaining like his origin of how he is, I think.
All right.
I like
Awesome,
that.
awesome.
I like that. I like that. So you're saying, Stacey, you think it's a contrast?
Yes.
Got you. Jason, what's up, man? What you got?
I don't really know, to be honest, with the mother. In a way, I kind of find, I don't know if it's both Cyril and the mother or just the mother. They both seem annoying when I watch like any of the Andor episodes. I don't know if you guys have like that same feeling when you watch their segments. Other than that, I don't really know. I mean, I think Stacey has the best answer here.
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. I mean, you know, like, again, you know, I thought Cyril was actually okay at first. In the first 2 episodes, I thought he was actually going to be a very instrumental part of the show, like actually have an impact. I did. How he's fallen off is kind of a shock.
I think the story writers of this series, of those episodes, maybe they're just new to Star Wars. I have to look into it. Maybe that's why this Cyril character is just not that good.
Well, I guess we'll see. I mean, I'm sure, you know, and I'll go back to you, Cyber, but I'm sure at the end of the day, this series has been really solid and well put together so far. I have to believe that there's going to be some kind of payoff or connection that will come down at the end. And I do think Cyril will bounce back. He wouldn't still be in the series if he was not going to play some important role at some point.
Probably. All right. Excellent, people. Very good. All right. So after that beginning sequence of the episode, we basically go on to, you know, see, that's I'm losing. See how they wrote this, huh? So basically, after that, we have the sequence where Luthen is basically back at his place, and Mon Mothma pops up, and we have kind of a little exchange between the two of them, and you know, basically she kind of confronts him about, you know, it wasn't him that caused that, you know, supposed, you know, ransacking of that one Empire station. And he kind of like how he directs it and stuff like that. He kind of talks like in kind of like code and not really is saying exactly, yes, I did it. But at the same time, he basically what he's saying is he is confirming that he is. And she's kind of at first kind of like not sure. But then as he goes on and says certain things, she's like, yeah, it was you. It was you. And he says, you know, you knew this was going to happen. You knew you were a part of this. And I need you to keep going forward. I need you to get this stuff done so that we can keep furthering this cause, because, you know, unless somebody actually started it, we're not going to get anywhere. And the Empire is just going to keep being this dominating power that's going to keep overruling us. And so, you know, some eggs had to be broken, basically, is what he said. And so basically she kind of leaves off like, oh, okay, and I'll see what I can do, you know, basically. And she ends up leaving. So after that, that's when all of a sudden it goes to it doesn't really tell you exactly where this is. I'm thinking it's on Coruscant too as well. But we see this young lady and she's walking, and then there's this really amazing music going on in the background as she's walking. And it shows her and she's walking through some corridors, and then all of a sudden she meets up and there's a Val who she ends up talking to. And we end up finding out that that's actually Luthen's assistant. And they basically Luthen's assistant tells Val, you know, what's going on, kind of, you know, and kind of, you know, things are going on, and then basically gives her the message that, you know, Luthen says you need to go and find Cassian and kill him because he is a loose end. And so basically, you know, Val's kind of like, you know, like, what the hell? Like, how's he a loose end kind of deal? But you want me to kill him, basically. And, you know, Luthen's assistant's like, yep, that's got to be taken care of because he knows Luthen's identity. And so, that kind of has to be done, and it kind of leaves it at that. And then as we go on from that sequence, that's when we get back to where Cassian pops back up, and we see him. He's driving on this like little machine thing, like a scooter of some sort, and it shows him he's going through like the areas or whatever. And as he's driving, and then all of a sudden goes back to the house where his stepmother or his adopted mother is, played by the awesome character actress. And it shows her, and she's kind of like sleeping, and we kind of see somebody walking by in front of the building, and the robot stirs basically. And I forget what's the robot's name. Does anybody remember the robot's name again? BB something or something like that. Anybody remember? No.
Wait, the robot from Rogue One?
No, his robot that's been in the Andor series, the red one.
Oh, the red one.
I just remember B.
Yeah, B, I think. Yeah. That's all I can think of to B. Okay, so yeah, B. He kind of stirs and notices something, is outside the house. And he kind of stirs and gets up, and he's like, and the adopted mother kind of stirs, and then all of a sudden she opens the door, and it's Andor, and he comes in. And so he's like, when did we start locking the door? And basically he comes in and basically says, we're going to get out of here. I'm going to take you somewhere. And she's like acting kind of a little weird. And she's like, yeah, I'm just, I'm still just sleepy. You startled me coming back. And basically, why have you come back here kind of deal. And they have this conversation. And B2 Emo. Thank you, Jeff. B2 Emo is that android's name. And basically they have like this conversation, and he explains kind of, we'll get out of here tonight and all this stuff, and we'll get away from here. They got these, things going on here. They're starting to put up these brigades and stuff like that, and blockades and stuff like that. And so basically have kind of a conversation, and she's kind of like I said, she seems a little off, and she's kind of like, it's okay. I'm just kind of still waking up. You startled me. It's like, oh, okay. And he's like, how about we do it tomorrow? We'll sleep over, and then we'll do it tomorrow. She's like, okay, that sounds good. And B2EMO says the same thing. He's like, okay, yeah, in the morning. That's great. And so basically they leave it at that. And then that's when it goes, and basically we'll stop right there. So what did you guys think about that section of the episode? What were your thoughts on everything that just transpired? The conversation with Luthen's assistant and Val. What did you think about the Luthen Mom Martha interaction? What did you think about the whole intersection there with Andor and his adopted mother? And what were your thoughts on kind of that section of the episode? Starting with you, Stacy.
I was kind of surprised that Mon Mothma was surprised that it was Lutheran, because I thought for sure she knew what was going on. I didn't know it was a secret between the two of them, so that was a surprise to me. I thought she knew that there's something going to happen, like she's a part of this rebellion. So I just gotta kind of keep an eye on her a little bit, just because I feel like she's got her own agenda right now, and I thought it was the same. As for the girl in red, I had no idea who that was at first when she started walking, because I'm so used to her hair being up, and she's got like this, I guess that's her incognito kind of looks, and she's going to meet with Val, which I did not even realize that was her too, because I'm so used to her like, outside of that. So all these people are all a part of the Imperial. Like all these people that are plotting to do all of these things are all on the other side. And the only actual person is probably Andor, who's on the opposite side of that whole situation. So it makes sense, I guess, why Lutheran would want to take Andor out, but I still don't, I wouldn't understand why. It didn't really make sense to me because he's probably the only one that is totally against the Imperial. I mean, they might not trust him because they might think he, might squeal in the end of it. But yeah, that was all a surprise to me when I saw everybody all dolled up and on the Imperial side. And what are we talking about? Deirdre and her investigation? Were we at that point yet?
No. Now let's talk
okay.
about the sequence when Andor first pops back up and has the conversation with his adopted mother.
Oh, yeah. So I like her response to him because, well, I don't know if she had given the response at this point in time, but
nope.
No,
this is
okay,
this is their first interaction.
This happy meeting. There's the happy meeting. Yeah. I like the fact that he's going back and, showing homage to his mother and he's, his adopted mom and the fact that he wants to take her away. But then he realizes, like, yeah, I'm way ahead of you guys. So that's pretty much it on that part. I don't want to go too far.
All right. Thank you. Jassim, your thoughts, sir.
So I had similar thoughts as Stacy as well regarding just a surprise that it seems like Mon Mothma is like out of the loop. It's like she's funding Lutheran, yet she's out of the loop. I don't know. That just sounds weird to me. Or maybe Mon Mothma just gives too much autonomy, and maybe because of this issue, maybe she would want to get more involved with the rebellion. Maybe that's how she started being like, maybe I need to take a, bigger role in the rebellion. Can't just be chilling in my luxury palace as a senator. And another thing I want to say, I'm still confused on why they want to kill Andor. I mean, the guy's already paid. They already made a deal. Like, Andor doesn't seem like the type of guy who would just rat them out. I was wondering if anyone has an answer to that.
I think maybe because he killed Keen. What? Or is that his name, Skeen?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I think it's Skern.
Skern, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, maybe that's a good possibility. I think that when it comes down to why they want to kill him is because basically I think they view him as a loose cannon because of what happened with the other guy, him killing him, and then him killing the other two Imperial guards because he was in a bind. Maybe he might blow their operation by accident or something that will lead to that being blown. And so I think that's kind of the reason I think they're thinking behind it is to get rid of him. But as we know, he'll end up becoming a more intricate part of grabbing the Death Star plan. So
I will say that I do understand the perspective. I also wonder, do they do this with like so many of their other early rebel members? Like, do we know about that or not? Or is Andor just like an exception?
Offhand, I don't think we know actually. I don't think they really go into depth unless you read like the books that some people have created to be added to the story of Star Wars. But other than that, I don't think anything is really explained, that he's particularly special other than anybody else, because Rogue One didn't go into that. And I haven't seen Andor itself, the show, go into it yet. So maybe down the line, we might learn something about that. But as of right now, I don't think there's anything behind that.
Yeah, because, I mean, a rebellion, it's not sustainable if you're just gonna kill your people after each mission. So yeah.
Well,
Right.
Jazz, I just want to point this out, and I think this is very interesting, and we've flushed this out and talked about it, and I think this is a really cool point, and a really, for me, as somebody who's not as knowledgeable as you, Jason, with Star Wars, honestly, I'm not. I liked Rogue One a lot, and that's what got me excited for Andor. It did that, and the fact that I saw the trailer, and the fucking trailer is unbelievable. I think, I don't remember if it was both of them or the first one. They're unbelievable trailers. Cyber agrees with me. They're just fucking outstanding. They're the best Star Wars trailers I've ever seen. They're that good. And I just love the vibe of it. I love the vibe of Rogue One. Andor's been great. And honestly, they are doing something totally different to as far as I know. From my knowledge, this series is totally different than any of the typical stereotypical tropes that are always played out in almost all Star Wars productions. This is a complete opposite. Totally different type of show. They're actually contrasting the rebels and the Imperial forces as human beings, right? Like they're actually flushing out the Empire folks as individuals and allowing us to see their families and their individual lives and them screwing up and what they sound like when they bust balls and crack jokes. And one of them takes a piss during one of the episodes on a rock. How many times have you seen like a stormtrooper take a piss? You know, I mean, seriously. But no, they're humanizing the Imperial forces to some extent, right? And they're even showing them being imperfect and lazy at times, and like, you know what I'm saying, and how there's corruption in the Empire. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's like you know, almost like a communist-esque, you know, socialist-esque chain of command, where as party members, you've got lower level members of the party that are unwilling to like report certain crimes or like mention certain things to like the bosses because they don't want to get in trouble. Like they don't want to get killed. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's one big connection I do notice. We don't get into politics on here very much, but you can't, if you know anything about history, you can't not notice, especially in Andor, the clear designation that they're making, the clear connection they're making between communism and the Imperial forces in the Empire. It's right there.
I was about to lean more towards fascism, especially with Miro. She seems like a big fascist.
No, I get where you're going from. I do, but my point is simply that when you have communism, right? Basically, what happened to the USSR, the reason why their economy completely fell apart and whatnot and everything, and they couldn't feed people and people died of starvation and shit. Their economy collapsed. It's very simple. When you have a centrally planned economic system, it doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? It just simply doesn't work. It's that simple. And when you just literally like kill like all of the productive members of your society and then put party members in their roles that have no fucking idea how to do the shit, like being a farmer or whatever, they've never done it in their life, it doesn't fucking work. You know what I'm saying? And so at that point, when you have central planners like that, they're not going to want to like point out to their bosses and whatnot that like something's fucked up or they can't make something work or somebody killed some people or whatever. They don't want to tell them because they don't want to get killed.
All right. So Jeff, same question, sir.
Yes. Can you give me just a quick reminder of what scenes we're covering here?
All right. So we're talking about the assistant and Val sequence. We're talking about the Mon Mothma Luthen scene, basically where where they basically are discussing about the gold being, the credits being stolen, and then Andor showing up finally back to his old place, and his conversation, the first conversation he has with Marv.
Okay. Yeah, Marv. Is it Maeve or Marv?
Marva?
Marva. Okay, Marva. See, that's what I thought. I didn't think it was Maeve. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I get where Stellan Skarsgård's character is coming from. I do. In terms of the fact that it actually kind of makes sense to me that Luthen Rail would possibly not always disclose certain information to all the different cogs that make up the Rebel Alliance, right? There's probably certain things like, what was the name of the leader of the Rebel raid in episode 6? What was that chick's name? Either way, Velma. Okay. I guarantee you. I mean, didn't he basically? Was it Velma? You mean Velma from the Flintstones?
No, Val.
Okay.
My mistake, guys.
All right, that's okay. It's all right. Hey, you know what? It's all right, Jasmine. It's okay if you have a fascination with Velma from the Flintstones. It's okay. She's pretty hot. I don't blame you. I always wanted to do her too. So
it's not the Flintstones, sir. That's Scooby Doo.
Oh, Scooby Doo. Yeah. Well, either way, I always wanted to bang Velma either way. So I always did. I always like those geeky, somewhat attractive chicks. I think they're fun. But anyways, but either ways, bottom line. Although I think Velma's a lesbian now, so maybe she wouldn't like me anyway. But either way, no. It makes sense to me that look, I'm not saying Luthen's unethical or whatever and whatnot, or that like he's unscrupulous, right? Or that or he's a bad guy. I'm simply saying, well, think about it. When you're running a rebellion of any kind, right? At that point, I mean, look at what happened during the siege. We ended up having one of the rebels that was supposed to be down for the cause more than anybody try to take off with the money and shit at the end. And Cassidy had to fucking kill him when he was the one that wasn't even down for the cause. He was just down there for the money. Like, I mean, look at that shit. So there you go. Like, I mean, you don't know what you're going to get in the rebellion sometimes. You're basically, you're going to pick up, you're basically any douchebag that shows up, you're going to pick them up. You're going to let them join the team. Right? I mean, if Jar Jar Binks shows up, they're signing them up for the team, for the rebellion. You feel me? So, at that point, honestly, it makes sense to me that Luthen, I think, knows that Mom Martha does not grasp that she thinks she's in control of her role as a politician, knowing that she knows that some of the people in the Imperial forces know that she's a traitor. They do. Either they suspect heavily or they know that she is. But she's untouched.
I think Mon Mothma said that she's no, not her. It was Lutheran that says that pretty soon Mon Mothma's gonna like have spies within her own inner
She already
circle.
does. We've already talked about this. I don't know what you think, Jasmine. I don't know what you think, Stacey and Cyber. I think Cyber, you've already given me your thoughts on this. I honestly think the husband is a spy from the Empire. I do. I think that he was set in. She doesn't know it. She thinks she picked him.
Husband?
Yep, I do. I'm telling you. Watch, by the end of the series, he's going to end up being with a spy.
He seems gullible.
The daughter could even be a spy. You never know. This is the Empire. The daughter, Mom Martha's daughter. You never know. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? But either way,
wait, Jeff.
Yeah.
Or I think I might have forgotten, but in this episode, did Mon Mothma get a new driver by chance? Because if anyone's gonna put a spy with a politician, you got to change the driver because it's harder to convince the family members.
I can't remember. I didn't notice if it was the same driver or not with the same name. Does anybody notice whether or not that was the same driver? Did anybody mention the name?
Well, a scene we haven't talked about yet. When she's talking to that guy that she thinks she can trust, she talks about her driver. She talks about her husband. So, and all those things. So that is discussed in this episode.
Gotcha. Okay. So basically, bottom line, my point simply is that I think if you're in Luthen's position, right, you can't help but be pessimistic at times. You have to be. You have to be on defense, right? You just never know. At that point, I think in certain situations, from a strategic standpoint, because he's concerned, because of concerns, he may feel it necessary, even with somebody as trustworthy and like as big as Mom Martha. I think he probably feels maybe it's necessary to not let her know about something like that heist, because who knows what could have happened if she had told him, if he had told her. He trusts her, But who knows? You know, like I mean, you know, what could have happened if he had actually vocalized that to her? That could have jeopardized the mission.
But
So
Jeff,
that,
if he was more transparent, wouldn't that convince Mon Mothma to cut off funds?
wait a minute. If he was more transparent,
Because in the conversation, Mon Mothma seemed disgusted with how the Aldani mission went.
yeah,
So
because
if Luthen was more transparent, wouldn't that just disgust Mon Mothma away from
that
the
was
rebellion?
it was the timing of it. That's why Mon Mothma was pissed. It was the timing of it. She felt like it was not time for them to go that hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, and she's a humanitarian. She knew immediately that like there would be massive retaliation against all the planets that the you know in the Federation under the Empire. She's a humanitarian. She's already displayed that. So at that
Yeah, but
point,
what is that? That's even more reason, right, to disgust her. Like if you're gonna be if Lutheran's gonna be transparent,
maybe he doesn't trust her. You know what I'm saying? Maybe there's aspects of her personality and whatnot and everything that, like the humanitarian aspect, for instance. You've already seen that, like Luthen doesn't give a fuck. He'll kill people quick. He doesn't give a shit. In an instant, he'll kill somebody if he needs to. He has no hesitation at all. Mom Martha's not the same way. Stacey, you get where I'm going with this? Stacey, are you on some real shit or what?
No, I am.
Oh, okay. Whatever that means, good. But no, that's all. Cyber, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that? Actually, it's a good question that Justin brings up.
On what?
What do you think about like with Luthen? Do you agree with me that if you're leading a rebellion like that like you kind of have to be like you kind of have to in some certain situations maybe not tell certain allies everything about certain things.
Well, with any situation where you're in charge and you have the upper hand, you're not going to tell everything because you want to keep those things on the side in case you need it for leverage. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's not telling her everything. He's telling her what he wants her to know. So, yeah, I mean, that's how Luthen is the one in charge because has the upper hand.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think that when it boils down to it, honestly, at least I think, he's really, when it boils down to it, he's the one that's down for the cause more than anybody. He's really down. He's in it. He's in it to win it.
I did like how Lutheran has this whole like antique shop as like a way to hide his activities. Do you think that it's playing a role in the whole money laundering that comes with funding the rebellion? Do you guys see that too? Or
no,
not?
It's just a cover.
Just a cover.
Yeah, that's all it is. Right, Cyber? It's a straight cover. That's all it is.
And I mean, you never know. These shows, could be very deceiving. So, I mean, you could be right. Justin could be right. I mean, it's a 50-50 chance it could be either way.
Because the reason I bring it up is because in one of the books, this one was called Leia, Princess of Alderaan. So it dives deep into Leia's teenhood and how she became a princess. And part of her training of being a princess is learning accounting. And she actually got involved with helping her parents hide Alderaan taxpayer funds, just like helping like launder the money. So, she would like write like, yeah, this amount of money goes to like a space mining project. Reality is it's going to like a rebel base in like, I'm not going to mention the name, but if you've seen one of the Star Wars episodes with like the First Order and stuff, you'll see that base. That's literally what Alderaanian taxpayers funded without knowing. So I was thinking from there, it's like, what if Mon Mothma, she's not a governor of a planet, but being a senator, having a lot of money, might as well launder money through a business like how most criminals do.
Very true. Very true. All right. Great discussion, guys. Very well. Very good. Very good. All right. So moving on. So after the last section we were talking about, the wonderful first meeting with Marv, and Cassian. That's when we go to back to Mira, and we're showing Coruscant again. They're having a giant meeting with that one head guard guy that's a part of the Imperial that we've seen in previous episodes. And there she basically, they have like kind of a conversation going on between everyone, talking about what's going on. And that's when the one other Imperial guard brings up Mira's, searching, having that one guy do the searching for her. And, basically brings that attention to the table. And basically her and him have kind of like a back and forth a little bit until the one head guy agrees with her and basically ends up giving her that case. And basically siding with her, which was really shocking, I thought. And I was really surprised that ended up happening. And I was like, this is interesting. I wonder where this is going to go. And so after they end their discussion, the one head guard tells Mira to come follow him as he walks. And as he's walking, he goes, keep an eye on your back, basically, because people are going to be coming for me because of what she just pulled. And so basically that's how that leaves. And, where basically he's walking away and it shows her, and the scene cuts. So after that sequence, that's when it goes back to Cassian, and he's looking for his former girlfriend, which unfortunately I can't remember her name at this moment. But basically, Bix, thank you. And basically he goes looking for Bix. He goes to her hideout. He knocks on her door and stuff like that, and she's like, she can see that it's him, and is like, "Why are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be here right now," and all this kind of stuff. And basically they have a conversation, and basically she says, Tim's dead because of you, because you killed those guards and all this stuff, blaming all this on Cassian. And Cassian's like, "You're gonna blame this all on me when Tim's the one that caused all this to happen. It wasn't because of me killing those guards." And basically they kind of had a backboard, and she was basically go and don't ever come back type of deal. And, basically they kind of leave things off at a heated exchange. And as he's walking away, that's when he has a brief flashback to Marb's husband, who is I think he was his adoptive father, dealing with some Imperial troops or stormtroopers, I should say. And he basically flashbacks and sees them, killing Marb's husband. And so, because he sees the other stormtroopers walking, creating blockades and stuff like that in the city. So he has kind of that little bit of flashback, which was, kind of interesting. I mentioned this before with flashbacks and these, series and stuff like that. And sometimes they're done well, sometimes they're not done well. And this one wasn't too bad. It was kind of, they flowed into it really well. And, I understood where we were going with this. So I was very happy with that. So basically he has kind of that little bit of flashback. Who's, like I said, murdered by the clone troopers. That's when he ends up going back to Marv. I don't know why I want to keep calling her May, because there's 2 A's. There's 3 freaking A's in her name, and it looks like Maeve instead of Marv. So anyways, Marv. So he goes back to the hideout, and, basically starts talking, saying, we're, getting ready. We need to leave, get ready and leave. They're, doing all this kind of, getting all these blockades up and stuff like that. And that's when, Mar basically explains that she's not leaving. And, basically telling Andor, unless we start standing up now, we're never going to be able to stand up and not be able to stop the Empire. Maybe, Jess, maybe. And I kill you. No, Jeff Dunham. And so basically, she iterates that to him several times, that she's like, I can't go with you, you can't stay, because they're looking for you, basically. And Andor's very confused about all this, and he's like, what's going on? Like, why don't you want to leave with me? You're my adopted mother, I don't want to leave you, and all this kind of stuff. And basically, says I'm not leaving, and leaves it at that. And she, you got to understand this. And like, he's like, I can't understand this. And it's like, like I said, I can't go with you, you can't stay. That's just how it is. I'm not running anymore, I'm old. I got to start somewhere. And I've been basically working with the rebels, pretty much majority of my life, and that kind of was the indication that most definitely those flashbacks we saw earlier in episodes, she was definitely a part of the rebels at some point, prior, and she was more involved. And I think that at this point in time, many years later, she's still involved, but not as involved because she's aged. And so I think that's kind of what this sequence was trying to get off to as well, was kind of giving you a little bit more insight into Marv and kind of how she's already been a part of this for many years anyways. And so after that, he goes back outside, starts, trying to get away. And like I said, he again sees some stormtroopers and stuff like that. And he kind of like is watching them and trying to hide from them and stuff like that. And, kind of stops at that point, showing him. So before we move on past that, let's get everyone's thoughts on the second talk with Marv, the talk with Bix. Basically, that whole sequence on Coruscant with Mir and the other Imperial guards. And basically, what were your thoughts on all that? How do you feel it played out? And did you see, were you surprised by Mir? Were you surprised by the conversation with Marv or any of that? And what were your overall thoughts of that sequence of the episode? Starting with you, Stacy.
That situation, I was kind of waiting for her to get her time, because I feel like the guy, I forgot the head guy's name, but he was basically just saying like, it was like I said before, there's like two little kids fighting over like territory, and the guy is basically saying like, you're distracted. Like, I don't know what you're doing, but your head is not really in the game. And now that it's really serious, like, you just messed with my money, you should be in the same thought process as Deirdre or Mira. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Deidre. And I feel like if he was putting a little bit more attention into his sector, then this wouldn't have really gone that far. Like, he would have, and I think that's where maybe possibly Cyril could probably come in, because he could probably shine some light on it. So I think that's why they're keeping his character open a little bit. Maybe him and Deirdre. Like, I'm just hoping for all of these little, even though they're considered like the bad guy, but I feel like that's probably what could possibly open up. It just seems like that's what's gonna happen, because she's more gung ho, just like Cyril's the gung ho type of character. And that other guy, I feel like he's just there to do his job and get his paycheck and go home. So that's a win for her. And I think she's ready for it, whoever's gonna come for her. As for the meeting with Bix, I think she's just very brokenhearted right now. She looks like someone that's grieving and mourning the loss of Tim. So she doesn't realize like that was not his intention. Like, at first she was helping him, Andor, during the whole, accidentally, shooting those two Imperial guards. She was helping the whole time. So it wasn't like she was blaming him around that time either. It wasn't like, oh, why did you do that? Oh, no, she was willing to help him. And I guess when Tim got involved, that's when it got really worse. And you know what? That's on him. Like, really, sometimes you just gotta have better communication with your girlfriend than in that. So that way you could have known, like, I'm just trying to get this guy out of town. He had this done. And so I'm not saying he deserved to die, but he kind of stuck his nose in it. So that's pretty much where it was. You really don't want the Imperial Guards down on your planet anywhere, regardless of what jealousy you have. So, and then what was the last interaction? Oh, the mom. That I thought like was her last hurrah. She was just like, I don't want to go sit on a beach with you and become a millionaire while my ex-husband died. Like, I don't really feel like that's what I'm here for. Like, my last few days, I don't want to do that, because you can tell that Andor, he just wants to go to a warm climate. Like, in his mind, he's like on a beach in Miami or something, just drinking cone, what do they call those
Pina
Hawaiian-
colada.
Yeah, those exactly. And he's on a beach, he's chilling, he's relaxing, and the whole world is like going to shit, and he's just like, I just want to go chill. And I applaud her for that, because she's just like, this is why I'm not leaving. Like, my husband died here, so I'm gonna die here. I don't want to go anywhere else, you know. And so I think that's why they were going back to the flashback to kind of explain also why her reason. I mean, for a small episode, they have to kind of explain things in flashbacks in order to explain why she's so determined to stay there. So that's why I think they were showing that flashback of his stepdad being killed. And he wasn't really even trying to fight the Imperial Guard. And that's what was sad. And that explains a lot why she's just like, and you see, towards the end, she's taking her guns on, and she can barely stand up with her cane, but she's got a gun in the other hand. So I applaud her for that scene.
Awesome. Thank you. And did you have any thoughts on the other scenes I mentioned?
Oh, there was more. Sorry.
Yep.
Which ones? I thought I covered the three.
Oh, you did cover three. Okay, awesome. No, if you covered all three, you got it. Excellent. I heard the Bix part. I didn't hear I felt like I didn't hear the other part, so I just wanted to make sure that you got everything.
Well, I mean, with everybody blaming him for what happened, like, I figured he kind of showed that when he dropped the money down, and he was just like, I brought this money back for everybody, and I came back. I could have took off and just left. So I feel like that was his apology, kind of.
Excellent. All right, Jassim, same question, sir. Your thoughts?
Stacy just like knocked like everything in the ballpark. Firstly, Tim is like the most hated character in Andor. Even now, I'm just gonna say it up front. I found Bix's anger towards Andor and blaming him for everything to be misguided, especially since Tim's the one who ratted out Andor. Wait, I can't remember. Oh my. Okay, we get it, Jeff. Jeff, you want to say it?
What?
You want to say what you said in the chat?
What? Yeah, I think
That's
Tim's
Tim.
fucking. Who gives a fuck about Tim, man? He's a fucking joke. I mean, seriously, he could have been in the show or not been in the show, and it would have impacted nothing in terms of how I see it.
So you don't think he's the most hated character?
Who gives a fuck? His impact on the series was so irrelevant to me that, like, honestly, I'm more concerned about like taking a drink right now because I'm thirsty than I am whether or not Tim lived or died during the series.
I do think though the ripple effects of what Tim did in like episode 1 just it's still rippling through. Like,
If I had to get down by She-Hulk again and Stacy together again to save Tim's life, I still wouldn't do it.
okay. So yeah, that's that. We all agree, right? With me or with Jeff? What about you, Cyber? What do you say?
Cyber, would you be down to get down by She-Hulk to save Tim's life?
No. I mean, I definitely agree with Jasmine that I feel Tim is a very hated character. From all the comments I've seen about the character and so forth like that, he is really a hated character. I mean, I didn't like him from the get go because he took out Andor. He, went to the troops and basically ratted him out. So I didn't like him from the get go. Plus, also he was with his ex girl. You don't do that. You don't do that, bro. So I don't think that there is things that there are elements that okay, yeah, Tim died, okay, and I don't care about that either. But at the same time, I think there's equal opportunity there for both sides on the Tim thing.
Listen, I'll tell you right now, Tim's that guy where, like, if Tim was in real life and he was in my universe, right, and he had a girlfriend, right, the girlfriend would make Tim use condoms during sex, but I wouldn't have to. You know what I'm saying? That's all you need to know about Tim.
Good to know.
And okay, so moving on, I already talked about Bix. So man, Stacy, you just like took all my thoughts on the whole homecoming thing with the mother.
Jasmine, that's what happens, bro. This type of show with this kind of structure. I know I didn't explain it to you all completely in the studio, but that's what happens out here in the panel, man. Before you know it, somebody steals your thunder.
So okay, I guess in the previous segments we talked about, I usually focus on those that like I know best. I'm trying to knock out all three in this one round. I'm not gonna say what I wrote in the comments about Marva. I think we could just keep it between all of us. We can let the audience guess what I said.
It won't matter anyway. Whatever it is, it can't even. It doesn't even pale in comparison to anything I've said at any given time on here. So it's all good. Believe me.
That's good to know. As for, is the third topic Miro or not?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So we're talking about how Miro was. Geez, I keep forgetting. Can you remind me, Cyber?
Yes. So I'm talking about the sequence where they're all together, and she basically has a conversation with the other Imperial Guard back and forth because he brings to the attention to the group that she is doing things with behind their backs without protocol, and basically she ends up getting the job from the head guard guy. And then when she leaves, he says, "Watch her back." That sequence there.
Okay. I mean, hey, bravo to her for being, as I said earlier, like thinking much differently, not playing politics, like just trying to get the results done. If I were like with those other ISB agents, like I would be like supporting Miro, not going against her, because as she's gaining momentum, like it's better to be with the wind and support Miro than go against. So I am curious to see how the other ISB agents do, like as Miro just gains more momentum, gains more notoriety throughout the agency. Will her former colleagues, the ones who like screwed her over, will they be fired and end up in the same place as Cyril? That would actually be something I'm curious to see. But I mean, that's like a far shot. So for now, I'll just watch the wind blow and see how far it blows.
Awesome. Thank you. I would agree. All right. Thank you. Sir Jeff, your thoughts, sir, on those three sequences?
Can you just give me a bait, just really quick, to remind me, Cyber, just real quick? What are we working with here? I know. I'm sorry.
You want me to give the reminder?
I could do it if you want.
Oh, please, Jasmine, please. I want to hear Jasmine say it, please.
No. Let's Stacy. Stacy's been sick. Let Stacy do it. Go ahead, Stacy.
Yeah, Stacy.
The meeting with Bix back on the planet.
Okay.
The meeting with the mom, the stepmom, and the interaction between the two supervisors. Am I right?
Correct.
Yes. And the two supervisors were Deidre, right?
No, Mirror.
And the black guy.
Oh, okay. I apologize. I can't remember what were the two supervisors talking about and whatnot in the scene. I can't remember which ones they were.
Basically, the one was bringing to attention that Miro was going behind protocol to figure out something.
I got you with Deidre. Yes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, yes. Now again, as far as that goes, that's again what I was mentioning to Jassim. That's the kind of like interpolitical, like, you know, stuff that happens like at businesses or companies or with politicians or in bureaucracies. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like that's how things are at times, right? You're gonna have people like, you know, whistleblowing and stuff like that and whatnot, or like, white knighting and shit and whatnot and everything and whatnot, and ratting out Deidre and whatnot and everything and all that and whatnot, and wanting to maybe potentially benefit or gain in status by, like, you know, pointing out that she's going against protocol and whatnot and everything, right? And now let's be honest here. If I understand how things work in the Star Wars universe correctly, right? The Empire don't fuck around. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you know, the head guy there at the Bureau says right in the beginning, like, you know, we expect a lot from you because, like, that's how it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is hard shit. Like, this is no joke. You know, like what we do here. You know, like, and at that point, they take things so seriously to a degree and to a level where I don't think it's quite as bad as like Darth Vader just straight fucking killing dudes with the Force and shit in like the first movies and whatnot, whenever he wanted to. That all that. But still, I mean, at the same time, I think that we'll probably see it at some point in the series. In Andor, we're probably going to see at some point somebody in the Empire probably fuck up and get killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a part of, like, you know, I mean, I'm sure the Empire must have its own little, like, unit, its own squad that they assign and whatnot and everything. When some politician or some supervisor at the Bureau needs to get killed, they just send them in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on now. You know, I'm sure they have like their own little, you know, strike team or whatever and whatnot that goes out, or stream of assassins, or whatever, if they need them. They got everything. You know, so basically, again, I think I like it. I like stuff like that because I love the humanizing and I love the focus on the actual interactions and the dynamics going on behind the scenes of the Empire. Not just them blowing up planets and shit and, you know, being all evil and shit and whatnot and dark and Darth Vader and all that and the Force and all that shit. This is much more grounded. Like, think about in the MCU and Marvel, like Daredevil, and how Falcon and the Winter Soldier was more of like a street series, like, you know, street characters. Same thing, right? Same thing with Star Wars. Andor is like the street level Star Wars show. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not intergalactic. We're not going to have massive space battles and shit like that and whatnot. It's more of an espionage thriller, you know, suspense type film, right? With a very serious tone. There's not very much humor in this fucking series, man. Has there been any?
I mean, Jeff, you're the one who puts the humor in the chat.
Well, of course I do. I put the humor everywhere, man. Except for with Stacy. Stacy doesn't think I'm funny. So that's okay, though, Stacy. I don't blame you. No, I'm just joking. Stacy thinks I'm funny. Stacy thinks I'm funny. Look, she's laughing right now. She's just laughing, looking at me. She thinks I'm funny looking. Am I funny looking tonight, Stacy? Am I not as attractive as usual?
I don't have my glasses on.
Oh, you son of a bitch. I'm telling you, man. Hey, I'll tell you right now. Stacy, on your worst of days, you are like a shining light on the panel compared to when Jasmine comes on here and gets me all fucked up and anxiety, gets me all having panic attacks and shit with her crap about Steve Rogers, Captain America's Jewish. The other day, she swore to God for like 20 minutes straight about how Steve Rogers, Captain America, is a Jew and always has been and all this shit and whatnot. I swear to God, I was like this the whole time.
Is he really?
Huh?
Is he? No, right?
Fuck no. Are you kidding me? His name is Steve Rogers. How many Jews have you known in your life with a fucking last name Rogers?
Oh, the character.
Come on now.
Oh.
My neurosurgeon is Jewish. His name is Hershkowitz. It's like 17 letters long.
Well,
Yeah,
I know someone whose last name is Olin, and he's Jewish.
Also, he has
Which is
blonde hair.
short.
It's very rare you find a Jewish guy with blonde hair. All right, it's just
Yeah.
these little redheads. And on top of that, again, he's Irish. Rogers is an Irish name. It's well known in the comics. She's supposed to be a comic book person, so I don't know how she doesn't know this. He comes from Irish immigrant family. So either way, but she swore to death though, and of course she has all the MCU insiders in Hollywood behind her. So according to her, so you know what I'm saying. So I mean, you know, Jasmine is a special character. I love you, Jazz. You're awesome, my friend. You're a pain in my ass in a positive way. But anyway, so you have to meet Jasmine. You'll love her. She's fun. But either way, no. And then basically, in terms of Vix and Cassian, again, I'm more concerned with Vix. I'm more concerned with wanting to know what Vix's real story is. Because I don't feel like they've revealed really who she really is yet at all. I think there's more to her than what we know. She's not just some, you know, lovelorn chick that used to be a girlfriend of Andor's that cares about him, whatnot, and everything. She's into something. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's either already a part of the rebellion herself right now, right? Or could even be someone who possibly, who knows? Maybe fucking Luthen sent her to Cassian, to meet Cassian as like a secret agent, right? Literally, to recruit him and influence him.
Wait, have they met?
Would you put it past Luthen to do some shit like that for the rebellion?
No, that sounds like his forte. Like he's got people in his pocket. So
He clearly has displayed that he believes in Cassian big time. He sees Cassian Andor as like literally the fucking step, like the big piece that they need in the rebellion, literally. At that point, you know what I'm saying? The heist vindicated him. Now, if anything, he's doubled down. He's gonna search fucking the entire universe to find Cassian if he has to. He'll get him out of jail, or wherever he's gonna be at, or whatever in episode 8. He'll get him out. He'll bust through if he has to.
Spoiler alert.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, that's the other thing, Jasmine. I'll tell you right now. I do basically, Cyber does too. I don't watch ahead during these series. When we do them from behind, I treat them like it's real time. I don't want to get too far ahead because I want suspense to build up and whatnot. When I do the reviews, I do. You know, I think it's authentic. But so, and then lastly, we're talking about, what was the last scene, Stacey?
His mom.
Cassian and Marv. Yeah.
Yes.
No.
No.
Oh, God.
I make a worse.
Deidre and
Miro.
the Miro scene.
Oh, okay. All
That
right.
would have been the first one. No.
Okay. So, and that's that. And is that the scene where she reports her findings or what she thinks, or is that the one that's helping her?
No, it's the one where she reports they have the conversation. Miro brings up that she's doing stuff behind their back.
Yes. And she basically explains to him why, what the premise of it is and whatnot and everything. And he sort of dismisses it. You know, again, right?
No.
Oh, no?
He agrees with her and gives her the case.
Oh, okay. Yes. All right. Okay. I get what you're saying. So, basically, I think that Deidre is a very important character. I do. I'm really enjoying watching her trajectory from episode to episode. They're being very, very, very careful about how much they're using her. They don't want to overplay her at all, right? They're limiting her on purpose, right? Building up for her. Again, this is going to run more than one season. So, I mean, you know, like, obviously, like, you know, they're thinking long term. But besides that, in general, I'm loving it because, for one thing, I like the actress. So far, I think she's doing a great job. But don't get me wrong, we haven't seen too much of her. So, I mean, you know, who knows but how it'll shake out in the long run. But as far as I'm concerned right now, I'd say that she's probably the most talented actress I've seen on the show so far. she's better than the chick that plays Mom Martha, I think, or the chick that plays Cassian's mom. I do personally think that, and it's not because she's hot either. You know, and I do kind of find it, you know, the whole like her being hot and also like working for the Empire, like, you know, as they're getting down by She-Hulk, I dig that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like I dig that. Stacy, we lost you, hon. Anyways, we love you, Stace. No, but no. I like Deidre because I think that with her, she has purpose. Right now, do I understand her pure purposes? Yeah, I don't. I don't think that she's 100% down for the cause with the Empire. I don't think that she's like a hardcore fanatic, right, with the Empire at all. I don't think she's a hard liner. I also don't think that she's like Cyril and willing to do whatever just to like get ahead in the Empire either. I don't think she's concerned about that. I actually think that she's the type where she cares about her job. She wants to do a good job. And she's very intuitive, right? And at that point, she's a consistent. She sticks with things. When she notices something, when she feels something in her gut, she sticks with it and rides it, right? Like she's not going to give up. Once she feels conviction on something, that's it. It's over, right? I like that about her. Her character, I like that about her. I do. I really do. It's very much a contrast to Cassian in a way, right? Where Cassian, basically just does everything for himself, for his own benefit, essentially. You know what I mean? Like he is selfish at the end of the day. He doesn't care about other people very much at all. Just his mom and his robot and Vix. So I like that contrast. I do. Now, it could be wrong. I'm not saying that's the whole premise of her trajectory, but I'm loving watching her from episode to episode. And basically, I think that it's interesting to see, again, the different dynamics of how, and this is interesting for me, Jassim, like I was saying earlier, that now look, Deidre has been not taken seriously by people already about this stuff with the rebels, right? They think she's full of shit. And this is like a hoax, like the rebels aren't even a threat. And so the fact that she actually then finds someone that believes her just gives us a different dichotomy than we're used to in the Empire, where everything is usually monolithic. And there's no debating on anything in any of the other Star Wars stuff for the people of the Empire. If you debate with Darth Vader, you're fucking dead. So there you go.
All right, thank you. Excellent. And wherever Stacy has gone, we miss you already, Stacy. We
love you, Stacy.
All right, so great answers by everyone. Great talking points, all really great. So to finish off this episode, basically the end of the episode is actually pretty crazy. I feel it really, there a lot went on in the last 20 minutes of the episode. And basically what ends up happening is after that last sequence, it jumps to a month later, and Andor is now in a place called let me just see here, Neamos. He ends up in Neamos, and he's been there for a month supposedly. And basically he's basically just hanging out there, hiding out and stuff like that, from the Empire and stuff like that. And while he's there, basically the scene starts up. It shows a bed, and there's a gal in it, and he's in the other room where the shower is, and he is basically rifling through this box of some sort, and looks like he's grabbing credits. That's what I'm assuming they are. They look like gold credits, and he's rifling through that and grabbing that while he pretends that he's taking a shower. And then it goes out, and it shows him, and he's walking through the villa area, the area of the city, and he's walking, and he kind of starts picking up pace a little bit at one point, kind of seeming like he's scared. And that's when he comes across one of the stormtrooper type of guys, or a shore trooper as he's called. And basically they start kind of having a little bit of a conversation kind of going on there. I'm just traveling here. I'm just walking. I'm a tourist. And the shore trooper's like saying, well, you're going really fast and you're sweating and all this kind of stuff. And basically, he's like kind of, Andor's kind of like going, what the hell's going on here? Like, like I'm just trying to go over to that store over there and stuff like that. Like I haven't done anything wrong. And the shore trooper's like, well, you seem like you're up to something suspicious type of deal. And as they're kind of talking, that's when all of a sudden we see behind him a robot walking up, holding two guys. And the shore trooper tells the robot, okay, watch this guy while I go check this out over here. And Andor's standing there trying to talk to the robot, and the robot basically grabs him by the neck and puts him up against the wall. And basically, has like that kind of, situation there. And basically then it goes to the courtroom, and in the courtroom, basically he's sentenced to 6 years in prison for nothing. And Andor's like, why am I being sent to prison for 6 years? Like I didn't do anything and all this kind of stuff. He's like, I'm just a visitor here and all this kind of stuff. And he gets sentenced to prison for no apparent reason. And then it pops out back to Cyril, and he's at his new job, and it kind of glances to a computer, and it's like scrolling a little bit, and it shows that and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden it kind of pans out and shows him, and it shows him kind of like he's found something kind of deal. And that's when basically the episode ends. But I forgot a whole part that we didn't talk about. There's the section where Mon Mothma is talking to that friend of hers, and like I mentioned earlier, where basically she's kind of like trying to get him in on helping her and getting more credits, basically, so that she can give those credits to Lutheran. And basically they have a conversation, and she's like basically kind of skating the issue, but at the same time telling him stuff. And basically, he kind of is like going, what the hell's going on? But you're not going to tell me what you want me to help you get money for. But she's like, yeah, it's a charity, this and that. And like, basically leaves it at that. Like, well, if you can help it, you can help me. If you can't, but you got to keep this between us. And that's where she basically says she can't trust anybody. She can't even trust her own husband because she feels there's something suspicious about him. She feels there's something suspicious about her driver. And I thought that was a really interesting sequence. So basically that's the whole episode. So going to the panel. Like to know what your guys' thoughts were on that sequence with Mon Mothma and that gentleman that she's trying to get the money from. What were your thoughts on Cassian going to Nemos and him getting arrested and put into jail? And what were your thoughts on Cyril, basically ended up going, and having that kind of interesting moment right at the end before the episode ends? Starting with you, Jasmine.
Firstly, welcome back, Stacy. We have missed you. Anyway, so I like that you mentioned regarding Mon Mothma's convo with Take Koma, the big banker from Alderaan that came to visit. In that dinner party, so I remember there were a couple other people from different planets, and they all said that one of the big reasons why they chose to join the Empire was because they wanted protection. And just that scene there helps understand why so many star systems, so many planets, they all joined the Empire. And also regarding Mon Mothma's conversation with Take Koma, my impression was that within Chandrila, where Mon Mothma's from, it seems like that's also the case where a lot of Chandrilans, they also like the Empire because they provide protection, and that Take Koma is like one of the few minority people in Chandrila that just don't like the Empire. As you've heard him said, he's like, he has to keep his anti-imperial thoughts secret. And just from there, we can just get an understanding that from Mon Mothma's side, she's investing her entire wealth basically into the rebellion. You know, it's not like Bail Organa and his wife and Leia, where it's like they're taking money from the Alderaan taxpayers to fund the rebellion. So yeah, I just like the insights that this scene brought. Regarding Cyril, I'll keep it short. Bravo to him for the new job. At least, you know, he has something to help pay the bills. I don't know how the bills work in the Empire. Hopefully it's a well-paying job, but it looks like a soul-crushing job too. So I'm curious to see what Cyril does to get out of that job too. I guess it's kind of weird too, now that I think about it. It's like he loses one job being in like the corporate security force, and I guess he wants another job, but he doesn't really seem that excited about this desk job. So we'll see what he does to get out of it. As for that Andor scene where like he's like in his new planet, in the beginning I saw the waves and I'm like, are we in Miami? Like that's the vibe I got. And that house that Andor is in, I think he used some of that money from that big payout from Aldani to buy that house. So yeah, Andor's spending his money. Cyril has a new job, and now we understand why people join the Empire.
Excellent, sir. Thank you. Totally. I totally see where you're coming from. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, we can see why people join the Empire. Most definitely.
Oh, one more thing.
Certainly.
I got so many Rogue One references from that Miami or Niamo scene. I don't know if you guys got Rogue One references there too.
The music was fucking awesome.
I know. Yo, when I saw that robot, I was like, is that K2SO? But then when I see him like treating Andor, like I'm just like, okay, maybe it's too early to see.
That was
how
actually
K2SO
that robot. Honestly, that he was like half as intense as what She-Hulk was like, which is actually Dami.
Mm-hmm.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Jasmine. All right, Stacy, to kind of catch you up where we are and ask you the same question. Basically, we're talking about the final two sequences of this episode. The one where Andor is on Neamos and he gets taken to jail, and the little end sequence with Cyril. And then a sequence that we forgot to talk about earlier was the Mon Mothma and the lawyer guy that she talks to at the dinner party to get more funding to give to Lutheran. So we would like your thoughts on those sequences, Sir Stacy.
I'm gonna start with Mon Mothma and her party. I thought it was very interesting that she's ready to open up and kind of open up, and the dynamic between the two of them is kind of like unspoken words. It's like they have secrets. They're letting out little. This is just my understanding of it, because she didn't, come right out and say it. Hey, I'm funding the rebellion. At least I didn't catch it. I just kind of see them kind of, dropping little hints here and there. And the fact that she's like, yeah, basically, I don't trust my husband. And was kind of like, it's weird to me that, I mean, I guess in most politicians, yeah, you don't really ever trust your husband, and they're in it for, or not their husband, but your partner, and they're in it for whatever reason, the limelight, the money, and the fame and the power and all that other stuff. So you can totally see that with her husband. And the daughter, she just looked like she's just kind of checked out. So you kind of see her story a little bit, but I think she's ready. I think her role is going to be heightened in the next couple of episodes. So that's good to see her not sitting there just like, I'm just out going shopping, and she's not just only talking to talk. She's going to probably, I think that was the reason why Lutheran probably did what he did because it just seems like she was kind of sitting on the fence with all of this stuff. She talked the rebellion talk, but I don't think she was ready to pull that trigger. So I think she's got some cojones now and she's ready to go. So that's what I kind of got from that scene with her and her longtime friend. And then
Do you think she really has cojones? Like, do you think she's trans?
no, not in that sense.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, she's gotten her courage back. She's ready to go. Like I think there was one episode or one scene where Andor was telling the group like your nerves, like it's time to do this, and they kind of seemed like their nerves were, they were all scared. They were finding excuses. The one guy, Skeen or whatever his name is, it seemed like he was looking for an excuse out of it. And I think that was what was going on also with Mon Moth was like she was looking for an excuse to not follow through with it. And Lutheran just kind of pulled the trigger and she's just like, okay, I'm ready to go. It's already happening. We're gonna start seeing a lot of people being affected, which then it goes off to seeing, Andor's situation, and now he's being affected. He literally is just walking down this walkway, and then all of a sudden he's being bullied for just walking, and kudos to him for the hot girl he's got in that room, because I kind of like looked away for a second and then it skipped to another scene and then I was like, who is this girl? And like, why is she, and then I started to understand, like he bought this place or whatever, and he's living this whole different lifestyle and he thinks like he's getting away from all of the Imperial, but just walking down the street and there you are back in trouble again. So that's an interesting take on the whole situation. So it did give me that like that Miami Vice kind of vibe going on in just the way everything was going on, especially with the robots and stuff. And yeah, it was I'm looking forward to what's gonna happen to him. I really was about to like jump to the next episode just because I was like, what? He's literally in trouble again. So yeah, I was like, I just gotta hold off because then I'm.
Hey, you should do it, Stacey. Do you want to be the next Alexis on the show and just start taking over and just like change it? You want to do an episode 3 review, an episode 8 review now? Like we'll do a double header now and just decide for us.
Oh
like,
no, I'll get confused. I'm already confused.
Okay. I'm joking.
All right.
But yeah,
thank you, Stacey. Excellent. Thank you. You had something to bounce off of what Stacey was saying, Jeff.
Yes. Stacey, I think Stacey's made some very short and very well articulated points that I think have been very interesting to me personally. I like the fact that she's flushing out this dynamic that we're seeing with Mon Mothma and the rebellion in general, with Luthen's tactics. You know what I'm saying? And what you're seeing is, again, the contrast, the dichotomy where we're seeing similar tropes happening on both sides, the good and the bad, right? Our trope's always been in Star Wars, evil versus light, good versus bad. That's all there was. There was no gray area ever, right? Never. Okay? Now, we actually have a dichotomy where they're legitimately flushing out and showing in different relationships, in different ways, in different words, in different structures, the same type of fucking dynamics and the same type of squabbling and, corruption and incompetence and distrust and whatnot and all whatnot. You were seeing it on both sides, right? It's very interesting. It's very reflective, well thought out, and well planned and well structured. It's a great theme. It really is. And again, hats off to everybody involved in producing this series so far because they did a wonderful job. They must have possibly maybe paid them with crack. So they were on crack the whole time, and that's why they were so good. Who knows? Maybe crack is the currency. Stassum, you were wondering earlier what the currency is. Maybe they pay you with crack in the Empire. We'll have to see.
I thought it was credits.
Crack credits. You know, it's all the same thing. You need credits for crack, right? So, I wonder if crack exists in the Star Wars universe.
Oh, it
But
does.
either way.
It's called Spice.
Oh, is it Spice? No, Spice is Dune. Spice is Dune. Is Spice actually in Star Wars too?
Yeah, the who are the people? The
Book
Pikes.
of Boba Fett.
Yeah, Book of Boba Fett.
We covered that, Jeffrey. Book of Boba Fett.
Are you talking about
Spice.
that? Wait a minute. Spice. Oh, the Spice. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. I remember now. The Spice. The Tuscans. I got you. Yeah, my favorite. My people, baby.
The Tuscans didn't inhale the spice.
Of course not. Are you kidding me? They're too busy. They're too busy fucking just trying to talk their crazy fucking gibberish language, man. They don't have time for that. Come on now. It's tough maintaining a fucking village with 700 people and you only got 3 huts to live in, right? It's tough. There's not much room. There's not much space, personally. So, it's rough, man. I'm telling you, Jassam. The Tuscans are very misunderstood people, man. But either way, I wish the Tuscans were in this series, to tell you the truth. But that's okay. Hopefully, Boba Season 2 will be coming out soon. So we can see another one of those awesome fucking what do you call it? Chase scenes or whatever with the stupid fucking bikes or whatever, those stupid fucking kids or whatever that Boba had, or that bullshit or whatever that was. I'd love to see that again. But no, I love the dynamic that Stacey's pointing out in terms of the fact that, again, with Mon Mothma, I don't believe that she's willing to be a traitor. I don't. I think if she ever did fuck over the rebellion, it would be on accident, right? Like it would be mistrusting the wrong person. It would be trusting the wrong person or something like that, essentially, right? But what I do think is possible is that she's such a humanitarian, okay? All she ever talks about in the Senate is charity and wanting less critical treatment of the indigenous people on planets and whatnot and everything, right? And I think what's going to end up being flushed out by the end of the series, and then we'll go into season 2 and see more of it too, is this dichotomy where with Luthen, right, and his assistant there at the shop, what's her name? It's driving me crazy when I can't remember the names of the characters. His assistant at the antique shop is, of course, this is gonna drive me crazy. As Clea Markey, right? Clea and Luthen are down for it, man. They're down to kill anybody for it when it boils down to it. They'll kill whoever for their rebellion. They don't care if they have to go straight guerrilla warfare and shit on the Empire in order to achieve their goals. They'll do it. And the thing is that I don't think him and Mon Mothma ever had that conversation. You feel me? I don't think that ever happened. I don't think him and Mon Mothma ever talked about that. And Luthen was like, "Yo, Mon Mothma, just so you know, we're gonna be straight, kill them motherfuckers, whenever we have to here to make this shit work. We're not gonna hesitate to kill people. We're gonna be just like the dark forces a little bit here and there. We're not gonna torture motherfuckers, but we're gonna kill people. And maybe they will torture people too. Who knows? It wouldn't surprise me. Luthen don't care, man. You know what I'm saying? He's down for it, bro. He would be down for some suicide bomb shit if it went down to it. I think he ain't trying to play. And he's very tactical too at the same time and very serious about it. So he doesn't want to die, but he wants to win. And he's already made the decision that logically the only way they're going to win is with the gloves off. It's that simple. And that's going to be a massive conflict because at the end of the day, Mon Mothma is a very integral part of the rebellion. She really is. And she knows so much that, the rebellion might have to take her out at some point. I could see Luthen being willing to do that if he had to. Assassinating her or whatever and whatnot if she became a problem. I could totally see it happening. Why not? If you become a weak link in the rebellion, man, you're out. You got to be killed. Right?
Have you guys seen Rebels by chance? The animated series?
No. Is that on Cartoon Network?
No, Disney.
No.
Plus.
I
Oh,
watched
okay.
one episode.
What, Stacy?
I watched one episode.
Okay. Because should I mention it here or not?
What?
Does it have to do with Andor?
More like
I
Mon
don't know.
Mothma and the Rebels.
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Jessup.
Okay, so for context, there are different factions of the Rebels, and Mon Mothma, she's funding her own like completely different faction of the Rebels. Lutheran, he's gonna be more connected with all these other Rebel selves, but not all of them. And it's important to note that as time goes on, you're gonna. I'm getting there. I'm getting there, Jeff. I will give the entire novel.
Don't pay attention to him. Just go ahead, Jasmine.
Okay. So at some point, Mon Mothma will be fighting these other, like, more radical rebel cells. There you go, Jeff.
Oh, she's gonna be diamond dudes too?
Yeah, no, like, she literally would, like, cut off funding, cut off support, leave other rebel cells, like, in, vulnerable.
Oh, yeah. She will. You're right. That's what I'm saying. She could be an impediment to the rebellion at the end of the day. Like, overall, at the end, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happens.
Yeah, and she had to be an impediment because, as you said, she's a humanitarian. Like, she wants to, like, quell all the radical elements of the rebellion.
All I'm going to say is this. Would it shock any of you if Luther knew the whole time who she was for the minute he met her? And he's basically just been using her the entire time. He doesn't even give a fuck about her.
It's very possible.
I mean, seriously. Why? He may have very well from jump already known what she's about. But no, at the end of the day, Luthen's right. Right? You can't fight somebody like the Empire without fucking killing people. There's no humanitarian civil way to defeat the Empire. It's that simple. So that's it. And that's all I had to say. I just wanted to bounce off that. Great job, Stacy. Great contribution. Way to flush out these really interesting themes and these connections and these almost inflection and like type aspects that we've had in the series.
All right. So comes down to you, Jeff. Your thoughts on the final two sequences and the Martha, as you have me all twisted now, sequence with the lawyer guy. Your thoughts on those three scenes, sir?
Well, basically, essentially, when it comes to Mom Martha, what we're gonna have to see is, what I'm really concerned is down the road. Really, as things are evolving, I want to see when the pressure builds up more, right? Because Luthen has other stuff planned already. He just hasn't said anything about it yet. There's other missions that are going to occur. He's already got other stuff. This was just the start, right? If this went down, the heist worked. This is going to be a launching point for Luthen. He's ready to go. He's ready to rock and roll. Like this, that's where we're at in Andor. Luthen is ready to fight. He's ready to make the rebellion real and fight the fucking Empire. He's pissed. And at that point, honestly, at this point, anything he does at all that's offensive, Mal Martha's going to get more concerned, more worried, more scared, right? And more pissed off at herself at watching the results, like we saw in this episode, of people being fucking like almost treated like the Jews in World War II, essentially on their planets because of what they did in that heist, right? I mean, literally going back and like reevaluating people that you've released from jail to possibly consider bringing them back to jail when you've already let them go. Come on now, yo, that's fucking intense. That is some serious shit, bro. Like seriously, like yo, you did your time, you're out, but guess what? We decided to bring you back in and whatnot, and we're going to talk about whether or not you should just go back to jail. Fuck it. You know, if you come in and you don't shave well enough, you're going back to jail for 60 years. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I think that with Mon Martha, all I'm going to say is just that I don't think she was ever prepared when it boils down to it for the real action, the real shit. I think in her role, she always just kind of figured that things would just keep on coasting. She'd do her part. All she'd have to be concerned about was the financial shit and whatnot and all that. They'd plan some stuff here and there, right? But at the end of the day, I don't think she really believed in the rebellion. I don't think she honestly believed that they were capable of doing things like that mission, like that heist. I don't think she thought that was possible, to tell you the truth. I think that shocked the fuck out of her. It did. And so at that point, that scares her. To know that they're not only that Luthen's the one to do something like that without telling her, but then on top of it, that they're that effective at doing it, they're able to make that big of a fucking move against the Empire. That freaks her out, right? Because to her, that means, oh shit, that means more damage, more death, more starvation. You know what I'm saying? Like more, more fucking, more strength, more mistreatment and abuse of indigenous peoples on planets and whatnot and everything. More planets getting cut off completely and like left to starve. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But basically, long story short, what I think is that when it comes to Andor, there's so many great elements to it, but the casting was great. It really is. Even Cyril. Say what you want about him. I like the actor that plays Cyril. I do. I think he does a good job at what he does. I don't even give a fuck what the actor that plays Tim's fucking name is. Who cares? His name could be fucking anything. His name could be fucking irrelevant. It doesn't even matter. But no, the casting was great. I wouldn't be surprised. Somebody could even look it up if maybe Sarah Finn's agency had something to do with the casting on this series. You never know. Or at least maybe had input on it, right? You have to imagine, right, that Cyber, right, that Sarah Finn must at least be asked, her thoughts and whatnot when they cast these series. I would imagine, wouldn't they? Yeah, I mean, I would. Yeah, I mean, look how well she's done. Why wouldn't you? You'd be stupid to not want her opinions. But no, the casting is excellent, really well done. All the characters so far to me have been very well done and well portrayed. They're very authentic, very genuine. This is just a great TV series, man. It really is. I mean, honestly, it's suspenseful. You don't know what to expect. It's not woke, right? There's no woke bullshit in it. Hey, isn't that fucking nice? That's awesome. I'm loving it. No woke shit. Shit, man. Hallelujah. It's like winning the lottery, baby. I mean, compared to She-Hulk, this should be nominated for an Oscar. Either way, though. As far as casting goes and that whole deal, hey, like I said, the music was fucking awesome. I loved it. The vibe was chill. It was like Miami. It was like Miami, baby. It sounded like Miami and it sounded like Latin music or whatever. Now, Stacey, just to be clear, that chick, that was what they call a pro. You know what I'm saying? They do that over in the Star Wars universe, right? They even more prevalent than now. Like, how things are now in America. That's very prevalent in that future. So yeah, that was a pro. That wasn't just some nice chick that liked Cassian. He gave her credits, for her time. If you know about that stuff. But no, that's just crazy, man. Like, again, what happened with him right at the end was a result of the crackdown after what happened on Aldhani. That's why they've decided to revisit things like the sentencing for certain crimes and whatnot, right? What did the judge say? This used to be a 2-month thing or whatever, 2-month jail. Now he gets 6 years?
Yep.
Yo, that's fucking insane, bro. That shit is crazy. What did he even do? He just walked up the fucking. He just walked up the fucking, like, walked down the beach or whatever, or down the street.
Yep.
Like, why did they even pick him up?
Because they can.
Yeah, I didn't even get that. Like, what did he even do? I mean, I don't even know, unless, like, maybe I wasn't really sure what was going on, unless they're just basically arresting anybody that pops up. But either way, I'm very, very excited to see how this. I do know he's going to prison. I know that. And hey, maybe it's gonna be some Prison Break shit, baby. I love Prison Break. It'll be like a Star Wars Andor version of Prison Break. And I'm looking forward to it.
There you go. Thank you. Awesome. So going around, let's rate this episode, and then we will do our plugs and get out of here. So, Jasmine, what would you give this episode 1 to 10?
Probably 8.
Excellent. Excellent. Stacy, 1 to 10, what would you give this episode?
A 6.
A 6. All right. So we have a 6 and an 8. Jeff, 1 to 10.
Definitely a not let down, but definitely a real change in energy compared to the last episode, man. No way to get around it. At that point, with me giving the episode 6 a 10, did I give it a 10, Cyber?
Last episode?
Yeah,
I think you gave it a 9.25, I think.
Oh, okay, 9.25. Yeah, on this one, I'd say I'd go with still a solid episode. Still a very solid episode. I'd give it an 8, a solid 8.
An 8 as well. All right. I would give it a solid 8 as well. I think it was a very well done episode. There was definitely a lot of information impacted into this one episode. So that's why I give it an 8. Because there was so much condensed into the one episode. If they had spread it out a little bit, I think it would have given it a 10. But overall, I think it was a solid 8. All right. Awesome. Awesome, people. All right. So.
Wait, but did we get Stacey's? Did Stacey give us her rating?
Yes. 6.
Oh, I'm sorry. 6. Okay. Stacey, you gave that shit a 6?
Yeah, it was kind of boring.
Yep. There was definitely boring parts, most definitely.
There was boring parts, I guess, because I guess it was just because everything that had happened with everybody dying, and that was the excitement, and then now everything's kind of died down, and you're just seeing everybody's reaction from it. So it's kind of like, okay. So I mean, the most exciting part was just when Andor actually got arrested. In my opinion, like the most action part of the whole thing.
What if Andor had gotten naked? Would that have improved the show for you?
Well, I thought that's where they were going when I saw the girl in his bed, and I was like, wow, I can't remember seeing a romantic scene for Star Wars. So that was interesting.
Is Andor hot?
Yeah, and that's Spanish. Like, yeah. Of course. I don't know.
Okay.
All right. Excellent. All right. So to end us out, we'll go around and everyone plug your channel, and then we'll get out of here. Starting with you, Stacy. What are we talking about on the Some Real Shit podcast soon?
Well, coming up real soon is issues with friendship. I've got a couple people sending in some messages on what their issues are in friendship and how we can discuss that and find some sort of solution, because I know as time goes by, people change, things change, we outgrow our old friends and gain new friends. So that's a really good topic I wanted to touch on. So that should be coming out shortly, as soon as I can get everybody's viewpoints on that, and that'll be a solo show.
Excellent. Awesome. Jasmine, do you have anything you would like to plug, sir?
Since my face is shown, my name is there, I'm not gonna plug my anonymous accounts.
Okay. Awesome. That's fine. All right. And of course, we will be live this upcoming Friday and discussing Willow episode 3 here on the Bleeding Edge. Jeff will be moderating that episode. And then, of course, we will be back to the MCU content on Sunday, of course. I believe you'll be discussing more Phase 5 and 6, sir.
Phase 5, yes. We should be probably launching into, I would assume, probably the Echo Disney Plus series to start off. And then from there, I believe probably after that, we'll be doing What If Season 2. And then we'll be getting into, I believe, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And if we're able to get anywhere past that, we'll see. But basically, folks, Sundays all the way through December, Phase 5, Phase 6 preview. Simple as that. Everything from San Diego Comic-Con, Marvel Studios panel, it's all getting flushed out, baby. All of it.
Excellent. Excellent. And of
Can I
course,
say something real quick?
Yep.
Oh, so the messages can be found on the Spotify. So just send me all messages through Spotify regarding that topic.
Awesome. Excellent. Yeah. So yeah, people, go check out some real shit podcasts, people. Give her some questions. She will appreciate it. Excellent. And of course, as always, if you enjoy my moderating and enjoy me on the show, you can definitely check out my solo content under Cyberneticshark. You can find me on pretty much any platform from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Rizzle, all those great places. I'm usually uploading something, usually every day. I will be having some new trailer reactions up within the next 2 weeks. You'll be seeing my Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny trailer, my Super Mario Brothers trailer. You'll be seeing some more unboxings, my Hocus Pocus 2 review. I will be getting around to my Black Adam review and stuff like that. So yeah, keep your eye on that too. So definitely check that out if you get a chance, and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get me to that 500 mark. I'm only I'm at 444, so I'm 66 away. So definitely get me to that number by the end of December. Would be great. I would love to start out the new year at 500. You guys have been great getting me there. So I want to tell everyone I appreciate that. And as always, people, you guys rock. Thank you for watching our live stream or whenever you watch our live stream. And you guys are awesome. So until next time, peace.
Peace.
Hey. I said, excuse me, you don't understand where I'm at. I was all around the world, on span, cross the map. I've been laying low and now it's time to pop up, bitch, I'm back. Now I'ma run it up. Snooze on the kid that you dumb or what?